Alrighty, hey everyone, I hope you guys are all having an amazing day out there today. Bitcoin is in the move upwards, up around 1.85%, 2,000 bucks, which is some pretty good news for us. And it's being caused in part because of some interesting news we got and some interesting technicals that we're going to have to talk about as well. But before all that, just want to let you know, hopefully you guys have all had a very good holiday weekend here. I am on the verge of having a chest infection, so I'm going to take things pretty slow today and try to keep my voice under control and not be too loud. I may not even smoke with you guys tomorrow on Wednesday, which will be the normal day. I might push it back to Friday, depending on how I'm feeling. So we'll see how all of that goes. But I had a great weekend. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Loki had a great weekend because my sister came down. Loki's over here waiting to get... Come here, come here. Oh, yes, good boy. Yes. Loki had a good weekend as well. Now he's having a good day. Okay, so let's get started. Happy to see you, Villaret, my man. Let me actually go straight to this one for now. I feel like this is better for the next few days. Long story short, Bitcoin is starting off the week very nicely. I like what I'm seeing here. The interesting thing is we are technically not breaking down below the 20-week moving average like I thought we would. Instead, we opened up below the 20-week moving average, and we're currently breaking above it here, which could lead to some really interesting things. Now, when we're looking at the momentum is still bearish here. I'm not really doing anything besides dollar cost averaging, and we've talked about this a lot. I just don't feel comfortable enough going on some crazy longs right now, other than like we talked about before, the 24-hour to 36-hour type of trades. That's about the most I'm willing to do right now because the majority of the momentum on the weekly charts is still pointing us down. In the last few times we've had that bearish momentum, we've seen some pretty nasty moves, right? Pretty nasty moves over here with everything turning bearish, and some pretty nasty moves right here with everything turning bearish, and possibly going back as far as the 50-week moving average down here around 98,000 bucks or so, if we have a nasty move this time as well over the next few weeks. That being said, we're not doing that right now. We're breaking back above the 20. I like to see that a lot, and that means we can get some momentum and hopefully stop us from having a very bad move down, right? A few of the things I want you guys to remember here, especially on the daily chart, we are still below both the 20 and 50-day moving averages. What's interesting right now, though, is you are seeing an opportunity for us to have a little bit of a bullish MACD, a bullish RSI, and a bullish stochastic, which doesn't mean that we're going to go all the way back up here to the highs around 125,000, but possibly we can get back up here to 116,000 before ultimately making another nasty move down, probably towards like this Fibonacci level or something similar around there, right? I was hoping that we might have something more of an easier breakout time, but so far I think it's good enough for us, right? We had a smaller breakout this morning around 5 to 7 o'clock. We're still going up a little bit here with our next level of resistance around 113,000. So if you guys are looking to trade, you still got some momentum here. I wouldn't be surprised if we have to do one more dip before we start taking on a little bit more of a rip type of effect, if you will, right? Especially since the 200 is still pretty far away from us at this point. I was hoping though, like if I point this back up a little bit more here and go back over here, we've tried a few times to really have a nice breakout, especially over here, these last few hours, or 4-hour candle bars, if you will. Really weren't able to do it, but the fact that we're able to do it now means that, again, we're not looking at anything like that, but at least we can grind up a little bit more. And I think that grinding up moment is what I'm looking for over the next few hours here. And also because of all this nice Bitcoin move here, especially if you go to the daily chart, let's get rid of the oscillators and stuff like that. We're seeing Ethereum, okay. Solana doing pretty well at 5% here. Dogecoin up 2%. Again, after they broke down, it's still been making these lower lows here. Trump token not really doing much. Melania not doing much. WIF is doing a little bit here. And for the most part, maybe like Book of Meme, you're seeing a few things make some moves, but nothing is really going crazy like we would expect it to be with Bitcoin having a nice move. And I think part of that has to go into the fact that that Bitcoin dominance has pretty much stalled out here over the last few days. We were kind of hoping it might continue to fall back down a little bit to that next level of support around 56.38%. And then you guys could take some, some more profits and things like that. But it really hasn't seemed to be the case just yet. And again, that's perfectly fine. You can see a pretty clear downtrend here. It looks like, just like how Bitcoin's breaking out, it looks like the Bitcoin dominance may break out as well, leading us to have a pretty nice rebound here. You can see the momentum is shifting just a little bit. You can see the stochastic and RSI is fine. The stochastic is also about to flip around here, so we might go back here and make a lower high, and during that lower high, you're probably going to see altcoins lose some value against Bitcoin. The way I think it may go along here, especially for the first week, since Bitcoin does have momentum, you may see Bitcoin go up and then altcoins just stay stagnant, and that's enough for Bitcoin dominance to climb up a little bit more, all right? As far as everything else is concerned, I was hoping that we might have some bigger moves here when it comes to Crow and stuff, but Crow is still pretty much consolidating after that blockbuster week we had last time. The last token we talked about also is RLC. This one is trying to make a comeback here, but this one is very low compared to where it was, but it's still trying to make a comeback, which I think is pretty nice. So if you guys are looking for day trading opportunities, I would still say RLC and Crow are your best bets. NMR isn't really doing anything today. It's kind of resting on the old level of support from way, way, way back then. But if you guys are looking for a buying opportunity and maybe a leveraged trade bounce, especially since Bitcoin is doing something, this is actually a pretty easy trade. You can buy right now, have a stop loss right below, and then see how far it goes up, which I think ultimately is going to be a nice way to play this type of currency without having to risk too much, if you will. So we'll see how that plans out. Hey Gigi Hunter, happy to see you. Hey Haram, happy to see all of you guys here today. Excuse me. Before I go any further, I think I am coming down with a chest infection, so I'm trying hard not to talk too much or do too much stuff. I made the mistake of doing that video over the week in that smart money concepts tutorial, and it took like an hour, and I was like, oh god, my voice is pretty much shot. An hour on the final draft, but I made it like a few that made it only like 10-15 minutes, so my voice is kind of shot too. That being said, you know, if you guys hear me like take it slow for a second, stop talking for a minute, it's just because I'm trying to protect my my chest here. I haven't got any phlegm yet. That's when I know it's all over, where I gotta lay in bed for like a week and not do anything. Okay, so that's everything going on right now. As far as the news, there really wasn't too much news today, and I kind of enjoyed that. You know, I was looking online and they were freaking out, or see me on CNBC, and I was like, why are they freaking out? The Dow Jones is down 0.5%, the S&P is down 0.69%, and NASDAQ is down 0.82%, and the Russell is down 0.6%. That is not bad. That's not a bad day in the market at all. I think right now they're starting to get a little bit more sensationalized because they need to get clicks and clicks and clicks onto the websites, which I understand, but it's just, you know, it's not really working out the way I think they're hoping it's going to work out here. Small news here, Waymo starting to test in Denver and Seattle, or Seattle's in bid to expand. I don't want them around me, to be honest. Seattle, you know how many hills we got in Seattle? There are going to be cars that don't know to slow down, and they're just literally going to smash into pavement because they're not used to ultra steep roads and how you have to stop. Oh god, it's going to be crazy. Versus all the bus lanes we got in this city. Like, there are bus lanes where people can only drive on them outside of rush hour hours. So if that car doesn't understand that, oh god, yeah, it's going to be crazy. Moving on here. Economic data for the week is going to be pretty interesting. I was looking to see if we had anything today. It was just a little bit of manufacturing and some construction spending. Nothing important. Tomorrow we have a little bit when it comes to the job openings and the Fed's beige book. That could be some news there. I think that may actually give us a little bit of a pop either way. You know, a little bit of a volatility tomorrow. Let's say that. Excuse me. And then going into Thursday, ADP employment could be very, very interesting. It didn't really do all too much for us over the last few months, but I will say it had very low jobs compared to the very high jobs that came from the government. And it turns out the high jobs that came from the government, they really didn't exist after all. So if this is a very low number, we may see jobs numbers coming from the government revised downward for July, which could be a big shock to the system, and of course a big shock to the Fed, which would encourage them to lower rates probably even faster, or just do more rates. I doubt they would do a 50 basis point cut, but I think they can do 2 25 basis point cuts 1 month after the other if it really does look like jobs are really starting to hurt a little bit, because a lot of people have been losing jobs. And I don't think the government really understands that, because their collection models, the way they collect that data, is so outdated, it takes them months before they can really see it. Which, for a data-dependent Fed, that's a big problem, as you guys might imagine. Now, On Friday, we have the U.S. unemployment rate, employment rate, hourly wages, and hourly wages year over year. This is a little bit of an inflationary gauge right here. Hourly wages is part of all that here, and the unemployment rate and the employment rate will be very, very good things for us to see here. And again, the type of news that we're going to be hoping for in terms of getting the Fed to start cutting rates later on this month, which happens to be, I believe, a few weeks from now on September 17th. Not too bad at all. Next week, we have PPI coming out next Wednesday. This is going to be very interesting as well because last time it came in very, very hot. Everything else is really just going to be about the CPI, PPI, and getting prepared for all of this data. So what this week is really going to be about for a lot of you guys is dollar cost averaging, or still pushing on some of your trades, putting your bets into place right now based on what you guys think is going to be happening in terms of the CPI and PPI. I believe that I'm going to still be doing longs here as far as dollar cost averaging is concerned, especially because within like a couple weeks we have jobs and inflation data all coming together. That's going to be so chaotic, and you're going to see Bitcoin become very volatile because of that. Hopefully inflation comes down very, very cool. That'd be a good way to get Bitcoin launching towards the heavens, even if we do have some more bearish charts and whatnot. But because inflation has been eking higher, I don't know if we're going to have some major surprise, right? It would have to be a big surprise. It's not terrible if if the inflation goes up a little bit, that's fine. It's been doing that for a while now. But if we have a really good surprise that inflation is coming down or not as bad as we were expecting, that's a lifesaver for Bitcoin. And again, it won't necessarily stop us from maybe having these lows, but it'll probably give us a good opportunity to try to consolidate a little bit more, because again, September is such a massive month for everybody here when it comes to the stock market, the cryptocurrency market, the option market, the forex markets. Everybody is super excited about this. Now, in terms of our portfolios here, the group portfolio safe is still up around 27%, which I think is pretty darn good. All right. Fartcoin is down around 29%, which is not good. And I will say this, we had an opportunity to sell it for a nice profit. We only put $390 in here, and at one point it was almost worth $600. So it was a very good amount of profit. And like I said before, it's better to sell out of it, and that kind of locks you in your profit, right? And then the high risk one is down around 7%. Not bad, but it's being led by Arrow, which is giving us some good money. But Dog is down 44%, and that one is really crushing us here. Look at that. There must be an ad. Oh yeah, this must be an ad because I've never seen the colors like that. But yeah, so that's some of the stuff happening today here. I was hoping that we might have some larger moves, but the cool thing is over the last 30 days, you can see what's really been pumping and what hasn't been. Bitcoin's pretty much only down around 3%, not terrible, right? But Ethereum's up 23% still, BNB's up 13, Solana's up 28, Dogecoin's up 8, Tron's up 3, ADA's up 14, Chainlink is up 44. You're still seeing some really strong moves here. Maybe a few that aren't great like HBAR or not great like Toncoin, but there's still a lot of green in here, which I think is pretty good. Even OKB is still up technically 256%. I'm going to have to take that there, and I'll be happy with it. And of course, things like Arbitrum, which are tied up with Ethereum, they're still doing very well. I was trying to find some news here, but I just didn't see anything that I really cared about. So instead of doing this, I'm just going to give you guys a quick channel update about everything. For the YouTube channel, I did put out a new video over the weekend here. I believe I put it out yesterday, excuse me. And what I did was made another smart money concepts tutorial to kind of launch everything off. So basically, I have a few different thumbnails here. One's gonna be me, one's gonna be some like Indian guy because Indians like my videos, and I think one is another one of me. So I'm gonna get started with these again, and then once we have the smart money concepts based down, basically I'm gonna use that model to add a bunch of tutorials in there saying, hey, have you ever tried momentum with patterns and things like that? So get ready for tutorials, maybe a couple or a few times a week. This one was an hour long, so I'm not going to be doing a lot of those every week, but like a 10-minute tutorial, a 15-minute tutorial, I think those are pretty reasonable things to do, and I think I'm going to be doing a lot more of those here pretty soon. And then the other thing here is, if you guys can, please watch that video and watch it all the way to the end. Always helps out, right, if you guys are looking to learn. But The website is coming along. That the little bing you just heard was my website guy saying, yeah, we can do a call today, because I'm going to be doing a call. I'm just going to be like following up with him to see what he's doing here, because we've been talking a lot here, but we haven't had like a conversation in a minute. So I'm going to be giving some updates that I can give to you guys, and I'm going to be doing a whole massive website here, which I think you guys are going to be happy with. It's going to start off a little bit small, but as time goes on, because I bought all these plugins and I got the servers written and everything, I'm hoping to make it something more like an Investopedia, which I think you guys will very much enjoy, simply because it's going to have a bunch of data for you guys, but also I think have better diagrams and photos to help you understand exactly what's going on. And possibly with every definition, I'm going to try to come out with a video for every definition. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work yet, because I don't know if every definition really needs a video, but maybe I can just say it as well. So we'll see how it goes. That's like a late stage type of thing. But overall, I think things are pretty good. Besides me about to have a chest infection and be out for the next few days, which is going to suck. Well, you know what? I might be able to get myself out of it. I've been eating up a bunch of zinc and stuff. But I think we're in a good spot as far as Bitcoin. You guys already know historically Bitcoin doesn't really do too well in the month of September. We said the same thing for August, right? And what happened in August was we actually boomed up for a little bit. For 2 weeks, we moved up very, very well. And then the following 2 weeks in August, we went down a lot. We could still see something very similar where we end up all the way back down here around $104,000, $103,000 for September. But in the meantime, we're still having a short-term bump, which I think is pretty good. That momentum to me doesn't lie, so I'm not even going to try to play around with it. A little bit of dollar cost averaging when I see some tokens hit supports, and that's pretty much all I'm doing right now. If you guys are looking to day trade, like I said before, look at the 4-hour chart. Once the 4-hour chart gets bullish like it has been over here, right, then you can start doing some trades when you see a breakout, which in this circumstance really didn't see too much of a breakout here. Yeah, we never broke out until here, and then it went up, of course, but that's kind of a wacky different way of trading. So again, a little bit more of a perilous time here, especially this week because we got a bunch of news. So pretty much advanced traders out there, you're going to be good. New traders, choose this time to do a little bit more of paper trading or demo trading. I feel like that's going to be a lot better. Also, what I'm going to be doing later on this week is I am going to be running a bunch of polls, so keep an eye out. These polls are going to be different things like what you guys want to see on your websites, on the website I'm building. And with that, like, hey, here are some things I'm going to be putting on there. Which one do you guys think is going to be your favorite? And if you guys have any advice and things like that, please feel free to let me know in the description or the comments down below, which will be pretty fun, right? So that'll be kind of cool. And hey, Kenny, happy to see my man. Gold, yes, I can look at gold. Gold on the daily, on the weekly. Let's go to the weekly first. There you go. Gold is popping off a little bit, still going to highs. You actually saw that pattern pretty clearly here. The thing that sucks is it kind of gapped up over the weekend here, which means that unless you were kind of just loading up down here because you knew it was going to be a continuation, you really didn't get too much profit out of all that. But I think it's pretty darn good. Look at that. Nice little pump right over here, still going higher as we speak. And at the end of the day, it might come back down here to a support level, but it's breaking out. That momentum is definitely carrying it higher here. The news with gold has been pretty interesting actually over the last few days. Everybody's very much worried about the economy right now because we're seeing inflation go up and we're seeing jobs go down, which means we may hit stagflation where growth slows and inflation still kind of is choppy and very sticky. So gold is a pretty good place to be in. Bitcoin would be an okay spot to be in. Altcoins would not be a good spot to be in during a stagflationary environment. That's why everybody's really hoping that we're going to have the rate cuts, because that really juices up the market here and keeps the rally going for a little bit longer period of time. So a really good opportunity. Although most of you guys I know don't trade gold, if you guys hold gold for the long term, that's always been a very easy way to lock in some gains here. It's just over the past couple of years, it's been a lot better than it has been before that. Gold used to be very boring until the last few years. And hey, Josh, what do you call it? You need to watch? Yeah, it's going to be a good tutorial here. I'm super excited about the website. It's still just being built, though. I bought a bunch of plugins over the last few days. I think they're all right here. I can't really show them to you guys because there's a bunch of licenses and stuff in there. That was just a code because I forgot my password on one of my things. It's already expired. But the goal is to be able to use it for affiliate links, education, and really education, and really like kind of almost a funnel back to the YouTube channel. That way people can see my YouTube channel. They can say, oh, this guy's has some good content. I will follow him, and things like that. But I think the big thing is just finding a way to put all that educational knowledge in my head into one place. So there'll be guides, tutorials. Eventually I'll do some paid courses and stuff like that. And I think what I'll do is, like I was doing before, I'll have AI help me make some courses. And then because, it's better. Like, I know a definition of moving average, but I don't know the definition of moving average, right? So having all the information will be helpful with AI. But what I think I'm going to do here is I'm going to sell some courses, but I think for the first 3 days I have the course, like it goes the 3 days it goes live, and the first 3 days, once I post it, I'm going to have a special 100% off coupon or something for people that are watching the videos, and then they can use the code, get the course for free, and then they can write reviews on it and stuff like that if they like it, and stuff like that. So I think it'll be pretty good. I'm super excited for that type of stuff. So just make sure you guys are paying attention. I'll lead you guys into it. I know not everybody watches the stream every day because again, there's not every day we have something to really talk about here. But that'll also be something that I'm going for as well. The fact that I'm going to be using AI a little bit more, I think it'll be good for me. Although I guess it's going to be like maybe 30% AI, but that's enough help for me, I would say. And hey, Marcella, happy to see you from Switzerland. Hope you're doing well over there. I haven't been over to Switzerland yet, but I always heard nice things about it. Yeah, Josh, I'm super excited for it. I'm super excited. I just wish I wasn't falling sick here. I woke up today with a very sore chest, a very, very sore chest. I've been popping pain pills, plus my medication, plus I took some more zinc. I had a little bit of a cough here as well earlier. And my throat is a little bit sore now that I swallow my own spit. Shit. So I'm hoping that things get better for me because sometimes I get this bad and my body actually wins the fight before I'm bedridden, right? Once I'm bedridden, it's all over for me. I stay in bed, I don't do anything, I don't talk to people, I don't even hop on YouTube. I'm very, very simple. And I really hope it doesn't come to that. So after this, I'm gonna take some zinc, drink a bunch more water. I've been drinking water a little bit here, but my stomach's been going through something, and my stomach hasn't been liking water lately, which is kind of weird. So, oh yeah, I got a tender throat. Probably not the best thing to say on YouTube, but yeah, my throat is not feeling great. So I'll get all this fixed up. I think I got a whole tub of Ricola though that should help me out. My goal is just not to cough and to take as much NyQuil as I can. NyQuil puts me out and I fall asleep, and if I wake up for any reason, it's because I'm coughing myself up to wake, which is always interesting. And so if I am somehow not able to do a lot of streaming and stuff like that over the next few days, I will make some videos. They'll be about 20 minutes long, but they'll be technical analysis breakdowns of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and maybe one token that's really moving very, very well. And then from there, I was already going to plan on doing that in the first place every few days. But I think after that, the goal will be to just get better, right? Just get better. And hey, GT, happy to see you, my man. Do I know by chance how much money I need to be able to open a custodial account for my kids through Fidelity? I do not know that through Fidelity. I'm a Vanguard guy myself. I would just type it up on ChatGPT though. It should come out really fast, or Gemini. It should come out really, really fast. I mean, some I've seen as low as $100, but I think the average I've seen is around $10,000 per child. But I think that's a little bit more extreme nowadays. And I don't have kids, so this is not something that I really invest my time in too much. Hold on a second. I feel like it might be in the fine print, but I can't tell. So let me just go to ChatGPT and make it easier. Oh, it's no deposit. I mean, no minimum needed for Fidelity custodial accounts. Yeah, it says you can open it up and start investing with any amount or even none initially. That initially makes me believe that you better put some money there within the first couple weeks. Yeah, zero initial deposit. Oh, but inside of that, some things like mutual funds or structured funds may have a minimum, but I don't think that's a bad thing. You don't really have to put it into mutual funds and things like that. So, yeah, easy as pie. Start up with probably $100 per kid, and from there you just kind of toss in whatever your original budget was going to be, and just kind of toss in a little bit every month. I'd probably say go for the dividend players there with growth. I would probably go with the tech dividend players, even though it's going to be much more volatile. You know, as the years go on, tech is still going to be the leader here. You may even plop down 10% into some AI ETFs, although those are very risky, which is why I say 10%. But your kids are young; they're going to have a little bit of risk. You know, they're probably jumping up and down, rolling in grass or something. You know what I mean? Water's good. Oh yeah. I know it's gonna suck being sick because I hate being sick. I haven't been sick in a long time now. And you know what? I'm starting to go into my fast. I was gonna go get some tequila tonight. I was even thinking of having a date tonight, but I was like, somebody up there had a plan that, oh nope, you're not getting laid tonight. So I was like, okay, let's focus on the healthy side of things, right? Any safe buy for a nice 5 to 10% in 24 hours? Um, I'd probably say if you wanted to play around with something, but Matic is up 6% right now. How's that been doing the last few days? That's looking for a breakout. Uh, Crow, that one hasn't found support yet. I'd probably say a leverage play on RLC could do you somewhat good here, but again, I'd probably have a pretty tight stop loss. It'd be most likely a leverage play here. NMR isn't in the spot. I mean, NMR could be your best bet. It actually has a nice level of support, so you can do a stop loss right there. 5x leverage. You know, you're risking 3%, so you're risking 15% for around 15%. That's not a great ratio. Why not? But you had the time constraints in 24 hours. Yeah. This might take 36 hours to really get going here. I would say NMR no leverage would probably be your best bet if you can hold on maybe 36 hours or something like that. Just know that we have economic data coming out like rapid fire over the next few days. So it's just going to be very volatile no matter what. So make sure you have your stop loss there to protect yourself. Oh, wow. Thanks, Mike. I didn't see that part on the website. They don't make it easy to find and like go from the main website to go into all that data. Usually what they do is they not require, it's just easier to Google the topic and go to that specific link through Google. It drives me nuts, but everybody does that. Like you go over here to Vanguard. Oh, wait. If I go to Vanguard, it's going to show you guys my information as I log in. Let me go to incognito mode, Vanguard. Vanguard is more archaic, but I just love having no fees with all of their ETFs. See, they're getting into the school type things. Well, retirement plans, sponsorships, consultants, financial professionals. Let's see, career, no. Like I'm just looking for what you're talking about. Our sites, personal investors, plan sponsors, consultants, financial advisor. Personal investors. Plan your estate, save for school. Here you go. That's a 529 savings plan right there. Vanguard custodial. See what I mean? Like, where the heck was this? You know, I don't know how to find that type of stuff. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Um, I guess this would be able to be the safest thing, but like it's not the same thing. You know what I mean? So very, very weird how they have it all set up. But again, my website's probably going to be the same freaking thing whenever I get mine done. The cryptomanual.com. It's still being built, but I'm excited to see where it goes. Copyright at 2025, thecryptomanual.com, all rights reserved. Oh, there's so much stuff that has to be done, but I'm super excited about it. At least if I'm sick, I can still hop on my computer and do it light work, but I ain't gonna be doing too much. Because you know how I really knew I was getting sick today? Um, about an hour ago, I ran a test, and I usually run this test every now and again when I feel like I'm getting sick. I took a quarter shot of tequila, like a really good tequila that I like, and I drank it. And my whole body immediately started to sweat like crazy. I went to go take a shower. That's when I know my body's fucked because I get super flushed really fast. Normally, I don't sweat at all when I'm drinking tequila at all. Maybe scotch or a whiskey that's really high proof, you know, something like that. In this case, no, 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 did not happen at all. No, in this case, I sweated up a lot, excuse me. What do you think of SPY? Seems like a gap down, but bounced throughout the day. I would still say it's a little bit more bearish in the short term here in the medium term. If you go over here, and I'm just looking at the momentum right now. It's still been fine, but you're starting to see those weaknesses here that make me believe we're going to have to go down a little bit more before having that nice move to the upside here. The good thing for the SPY is we have so much support. We got support from way back over here on 620 or so. We got larger support all the way back over here on 609. I don't think we're falling below this, but I do think there's a chance over the next few weeks we get pushed up before that 20-week moving average gets to us. So I still think we're okay, but I am a little bit more concerned that we are losing that momentum week over week over week. To me, that's not a very good sign here. Now, again, we've had these moments before, and it hasn't really meant like, oh yeah, we've had a little bit of a short-term bearishness, sure. But, you know, we continue to grind up. I'm not too concerned about this. Bitcoin's going to do this same thing, but just much more in a volatile way, and then it's going to keep on going higher, right? So I'm not as worried about it, but I do think it's going to be, you can still find some lower prices over the next few days, right? So still find some lower prices. I don't think there's too many earnings coming up this week, so we should be okay there as well. Same thing with the NASDAQ. You see that momentum shifting? I don't like that. Again, the last time we had the momentum shift, it was not a good thing, right? Last time we had the momentum shift, it was not a good thing. Momentum shift over here was not a good thing. Momentum shift over here was not a good thing. But it's not like we crashed and burned. It was almost like we just had to go into a holding pattern. We consolidated. We saw things weren't really as bad as we thought, and the market continued to move higher and higher. I still think that same type of thing is going to happen. Hopefully, Bitcoin will get choppy like we had back over here. Nothing too crazy, although there was some crazy moments, but choppy, then have an opportunity to bounce. The thing that always saves Bitcoin is the chance of us having some type of death cross. We're not close to that yet, but every time we get close, we have a nice little pop there, which is pretty friendly. What's the most important data this month? I would say the CPI and PPI data would probably be the most important, and then from there I would say the FOMC. And the reason I say FOMC comes second, we already kind of have it priced into the market that we're expecting a 25 basis point rate cut this month. But if we have good inflation this month plus good jobs this month, oh, and then jobs third, I think we can kind of factor in and start to price in another rate cut or maybe even another 2 rate cuts before the end of the year, which would really get the market juiced up, specifically if that inflation number is very, very good. If it's not, that'll be a little bit more troublesome. Remember, we just had the PCE number come out, and that was bad, and it took a little bit of time, but you saw the market gradually start to sell some of those assets off. So I would still say inflation is number one. FOMC coming up as number 2 because we're going to have a statement from Jerome Powell. We're going to see what he has to think about it. And then we'll have the jobs report coming as well. But I think all of this data comes before the Fed meeting happens, the FOMC meeting happens. So a lot of the moving, all the volatility is going to be happening here over the next couple weeks. I think it's like 3 weeks before we have the FOMC meeting coming out, right? But yeah, that's how I'd probably say it, Haram. Go back over here very fast. Watch that play out here a little bit more. And then let me see if there's anything else I got to see as far as the news is concerned. I wish there was more, but at the same time, I don't really want to talk all too much. Google stock jumps 8% after search giant avoids worst case penalties and antitrust case. Apple shares rise as judge rules Google can continue preload deals. Excuse me. What Trump court loss means for shippers and the billions in tariffs affected by the government. Trump will ask the Supreme Court for expedited ruling on tariff appeal. I think he'll win. Fed Governor Lisa Cook did not ever commit mortgage fraud, her lawyer says. I think fraud is the key word. She made a mistake, and I would have to believe that somebody with her skill set and the government would understand what she did and know what she did, right? So I don't know if I believe her there. Salesforce is having a bad year. There's not really much happening, right? Treasury yields jump on prospect of U.S. having a refund tariff money, 30-year yield tops 4.9%. That's not really good news there. But again, I don't think the tariffs we're gonna lose that case there. We as the government is gonna lose the case. And hey, Rodriguez, coin stock didn't move today, even though Bitcoin had a great day. Was it because the market was going down? No, I mean, I think in part it was because Bitcoin dominance is really going up. There's still a lot of tokens that had nothing, like no move today. Like Doge is only up 1%. Ethereum is up, 0.14% today. You got stuff like WIF up 7% or Milani up 2%, but there's still a lot of tokens that just aren't having a lot of moves. It's probably because of its own technicals. So as far as, oh, you're talking about coin. So that means you're talking about Coinbase. Remember, the market was closed for the last few days for Coinbase. So it's just adjusting to where Bitcoin ended up going over the weekend, right? If you look at last week, Bitcoin is still relatively down. You probably go into the daily chart, right? Right? This is where we ended up on Friday, right over here. Bitcoin is still bearish. There's not really a reason to be going all in on Coinbase right now, right? So until Bitcoin starts to look more bearish, you're probably not going to see coin looking more bearish. And Bitcoin's only up 1.75%. That's really not a lot. And that 1.75% really got kicked off when over here around 6 o'clock in the morning. You maybe see Coinbase had a little bit of a pump in the morning, but probably not much outside of that. Yeah, a little bit in the morning, but not much else besides that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You may see it get some momentum tomorrow if Bitcoin's still going up, but this thing has its own momentum, and this momentum is down just like Bitcoin here. It's trying to bounce off of the 20-week moving average, just like Bitcoin tried to do last week. On the daily chart over here, we're still below it, so we're also hitting some resistance at the same time. So if you were to go long on this right now, you'd probably put a stop loss around 292 and then kind of ride the wave and see if you can get back up here towards the gap, probably around 338, and that'd be the easy way to try to play this here, but I wouldn't try to play it for a larger boom there. I would probably wait a little bit because it'll probably come up higher, get rejected, and you have a trend line for the next breakout here. But that weekly chart is still bearish. And just like Bitcoin, when this weekly chart gets bearish, oh, it's nasty. I mean, it is nasty. You don't think this is bad, right? You don't think this is nasty, but it still went down around 34%. Not a good time. So we're kind of in the start process. We may even see over the next few weeks, it comes down all the way to 258 or something like that. So a little bit different. Yeah, just like Bitcoin for the most part. And hey, Bull, happy to see you. I appreciate the trading video. Smash the like. Hey, guys, I appreciate it. And if you guys really want to help out the channel, please open up like an incognito tab. You guys don't have to do this. This is if you guys incognito, type in Smart Money Concepts by Lux Algo, and then you would just say what videos have been open this week, and you might see my video up here towards the top somewhere. Well, that's my video too, but this one right here. I had one is an Indian dude. If I refresh it, maybe another one pops up. Oh, it disappeared, probably because I refreshed it. But there's one of me in there as well. So if you watch that from beginning to end, it helps it a lot. But take your time with it. It's an hour-long video. I know it's going to take some time, right? It's not something as easy as just watching it for 10 minutes. But I will be coming up with a 10-minute smart money concepts tutorial here pretty soon, which will just be going over no trading strategies, but what each thing does. And then I'll also be doing a video with the base, like I said before, with the base trading strategies. So like using momentum as strategies, finding support and resistance levels, and the basics that you guys can be looking for, peaks versus troughs, all that type of stuff. So I think it'll be pretty good here. And hey, Charmander, happy to see my man. Hope you're doing well. I'm taking it pretty easy today, guys, just because I know I'm getting sick here. I know I'm getting sick. So what I think I'm gonna do tonight is I just started fasting today as well. I think I'm gonna continue to fast today. And see how that works out. Oh yeah, because my sister's coming into town later on this week again. I don't want to be sick when she arrives. I think she comes back Thursday or something. Oh shit, that's like 2 days from now. Oh god, yeah. Well, if I'm better, then she can help me out for a day or so. But she's going on a cruise, which is why she's coming back. So she's not going to be here for that long. My sister's going on a cruise to Alaska, I believe, with some friends or something like that. I don't no idea. They're a lot cheaper and they're more fun if you have like a nice little solid group of friends to go with you, from what I hear at least. And thanks, Charmander. I appreciate it. Any news on Simon the Gator? I have no idea what Simon the Gator is. Simon the Gator? Simon the Gator. It's down 17% today. Oh, but this thing is a very small market cap. This is something you got to be very careful. It's only on MEXC. It's not even on like a Binance or a Weeks or a BitGet or something like that. If you want to get into that, don't worry about the 17% drops and things like that. I'd really just put your money in there and just watch and hold it. That type of stuff is way too risky for the average investor. They have to have their own separate side portfolio where they do a very, very extremely high risk positions where they're okay with losing everything in it, right? So for you on that, I would probably say the technicals don't really mean too much right now. You're basically having to buy right now and assuming that because the rate cuts are happening, because we know the market's going to take off in October, November, December, you're buying right now hoping that down the road that's going to have a massive explosion, which is a pretty fair assessment, right? So you're going to see a lot of people buying up a bunch of random cheap stuff. Like I said, I'm still holding all this stuff from the higher risk portfolio. Even though we're down 8%, I'm assuming that down the road here we're going to see some really nice profit, and I know it may take some time, but I'm okay with that, right? I'm holding on a fart coin, which is down 30%. I hope we're going to get back to being bullish. And I know this thing could shoot up like 50% a day. So, right, that's possible. And our safe portfolio, because it's heavy with Bitcoin and stuff like that, Crow, whatever, that one's up 28%. But yeah, there's a lot of moves happening right now. Drinking plenty of electrolytes? Oh, yeah, I always do that. Luckily for me, I got a bunch of electrolytes in my house. That's the best thing about fasting. You get prepared for all this type of stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'll eat today, then I'll start fasting tomorrow. I was going to have a salad tonight, but I don't think I'm going to do so. It's going to be a salad at a restaurant because I don't like to make salads. Since I don't eat salads that much, if I buy salads, everything just goes bad in my refrigerator. It's really bad. So I'm paying like crazy prices for a salad because I only eat like 1 or 2 salads. What I enjoy is wraps. That's my passion. Get a vegetable wrap. Put some freshly grilled or baked chicken in there, maybe air fried chicken. I prefer baked, it's just more moist. Chop it up. Put yourself some spinach, some kale, some sauces in there if you want it. Nice and easy. Maybe some vegetables and stuff in there too. But I don't like roast beef. I like roast beef because I want to have horseradish in mine. That'd be very, very tasty, right? And hey, Vegas Nick, happy to see my man. My grandma was just asking me the other day, she's like, when's the next time you're going to Vegas? And I was like, I have no idea. I think I might want to go to Vegas in October when everything calms down. I've been hearing that Vegas has been very slow though. I have a friend, we were talking about it last night, and he said that he was planning on going to Vegas with one of our other friends, and he says because he heard it was so slow, he doesn't really plan on going there. And I was like, oh, that sucks. You know, I still go to Vegas if it was slow, but I'm not really there to see a bunch of people. I don't like hanging out with a bunch of people. That's why I typically don't go to all the conferences because there's just like so many people cluttered up to each other. Um, but yeah, so that could be interesting as well. Um, I don't know. I'll probably go in October. Some of that one is cooling off a little bit more. I can't do the hot weather right now. Let me see what's going on right here. Ooh, ow, what the fuck was that? Ow. Sorry. I had a charger on my thing and I just like stabbed myself with it. There we go. Let me back up a little bit. So what's actually popping off? This is the 15-minute chart. Book of Meme is still doing well. WIF is doing well right here with an opportunity for a nicer breakout. It's already broken out. It should still do fine, but the fact that it hasn't had a nice breakout concerns me a little bit as far as like continuing to move higher. Ape is doing okay. AMP is doing 4%, but I guess I had a big spike here earlier. Bitcoin Cash is up 7%. Yeah, you got a bunch of stuff like what Leo's not really doing anything right now. Litecoin's not doing anything right now. Spell's not doing anything right now. Theta's not doing anything. You can see it's up against a big level of resistance. Theta could break out here. That could be an interesting one to watch. RLC's having a good day. I mean, look at that volatility though. You got to be so careful with that. Oh my God. How's my WXT doing? Go to the daily chart. All right, it's picking back up a little bit. Yeah, it's definitely picking back up a little bit. It wants to go higher. Yeah, this is my dark horse candidate for this next few months. I'm really hoping this thing can go from 200 million to like $1 billion or something. Maybe. We'll see. You drop 5K in PopCat? Oh, there you go. I mean, that's one of those things that can be very, very, very volatile. Bull, that can be very, very volatile. But okay, everybody, it's about that time here. I'm already feeling exhausted, which is a already big red flag here. I'm tired. I can't even yap. You know it's bad when I can't yap, right? So just to recap here, Bitcoin is still bearish as far as the medium term. I hate to say it, but it is. We have some data coming out over the next few weeks as far as CPI, PPI, and the beige book and things like that, which could really give a boost to Bitcoin. But unless that is all good news, Bitcoin should, unfortunately for us, continue to go down a little bit here. Nothing like a nasty crash or anything, just continue to go down. My plan is just to continue dollar cost averaging and kind of watching. I'm not really doing crazy amounts of dollar cost averaging. I'm just looking at some stuff that I haven't really bought yet, and I'm looking, what's been moving up over the last few weeks. What still looks good. I'm happy to kind of hop into that type of stuff. And then if you guys can, oh my God, even the hiccups hurt. No. If you guys can, go over to YouTube and type in that smart money concepts thing that I was talking about. Smart money concepts, Luxalgo, whatever. You can do Luxalgo or the regular one. Set it to like the last week. And then my video should be right there at the top. This is not my face. I have like 3. You guys may see the one with my face. I'm running a test right now. 2 have my face, 1 doesn't. No, one has a face, one is just like a generic thumbnail, then one has this guy's face. And you can watch it. It's like 57 minutes long. You can listen to it if you want to as well. Most of the stuff you guys probably already know, but it has 28 chapters. So, I mean, like, introduction to smart money concepts, setting up the charts, initial preferences, exploring smart money concepts, understanding mode and styles, color, all that type of stuff in there as well. So, see you guys a little bit later. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit sicker here, but I think the faster I get over this, the faster I can go back to streaming for a couple hours, few hours. I think my thing was I went to so many barbecues over this past weekend to say hi to people, and I just shook too many hands, and one of those bastards was freaking sick. One of those guys was sick. So, see you guys a little bit later, and thank you guys so much for watching. It's going to be an okay next few days. I don't expect too much craziness, but I expect it to be a nice opportunity for day traders out there who want to play around with altcoins around moving averages, specifically those smaller altcoins still